Hey, would you like to learn the void of course technique we talk about on the podcast often? Well, it's in Chapter 4 of the Book of the Moon. The audiobook is available now on Audible and on Apple Books. And this episode of the Fun Astrology Podcast is brought to you by the Book of the Moon audiobook. So pick yours up today and learn that technique and use it for yourself. Welcome in to the new week on Monday, May 13th. On the Fun Astrology Podcast. Thomas Miller, thanks so much for joining us. Wow. I was wondering, so some of you may not know, about 10 years ago, I got atrial fibrillation. Dad had it, too much stress over the years, not processing Marsan tune properly, and an after effect of a surgical procedure, and, well, here I am. Well, over the weekend, since we spoke last, we've had an onslaught of electromagnetic energy from the sun and its various flares and emissions. Well, what is the heart? It's an electromagnetic generator, basically. So as these emissions were coming in, I was wondering what kind of an effect was this going to have. And I'll just say this, that I'm going to be searching for an underground bunker for next time. It was brutal. I'm still not back to full strength, but enough to get through today's episode because we have a couple of things of noteworthiness here, and hopefully you made it through the weekend okay, and those of you who got to see the auroras, wow, amazing. There were somebody around North Carolina, around Asheville, caught an angel in the sky, and I just thought, oh, that so figures. It was just beautiful. So I hope you got to experience that too. Okay, one thing early this morning, it's 5:10 a.m. Eastern. Mercury, which was in retrograde, as you know, a couple of weeks ago, is now back to where it was when it went retrograde. So we are in clear blue sky as far as Mercury goes, at least for the next couple of months. The other thing we have today is a moon changing signs. That happens at 6:30 in the morning. See, most of today happens early. So the moon moves into Leo at 6:35 this morning, depending on where you are. That's Eastern time. And it's a 1.5 hour void, of course. So basically from 5:12 a.m. till 6:35, those are the exact times. Void, of course, is 1 hour and 24 minutes, and the last aspect is to Neptune, and it's a trine. If you'd like to put your hands on a calendar that has all of these voids, of course, and the last aspect made before each one, go to funastrology.com/moon, and Kristen's moon calendar is up there free of charge for you to download. By the way, I'd like to introduce you to a new little effort that I'm going to be doing weekly with Jenny Geyer. You remember she talked to us about Chiron. Well, she had been incubating an idea with me, and it's going to be a video released every week on Mondays, and it will be a Monday through Sunday overview. So she was thinking to call it Moon to Sun Weekly Forecast, and I love that. But check it out. It's on the Fun Astrology YouTube channel. All right, we've been talking about this stack of activity this morning. Here's one more. 5:13 this morning Eastern, the Sun and Uranus conjoin. Okay, remember, we had the Uranus-Jupiter conjunction 3 weeks ago. Well, now the Sun caught up with it, hits Uranus first today, hits Jupiter on Saturday. So Uranus, Sun, Jupiter all week this week. Let me give you one more from the technical department, and that is Venus, the money planet, sextiles Saturn this afternoon. Market could be really interesting today. That happens at 3:45 Eastern, so we will be baking in that all day, most of the day. I like Venus sextiling Saturn. Saturn is in Pisces. Venus is in Taurus in its own sign. We're talking about some deep connections, and Venus rules relationships. And with this, I'm wondering, because Pisces is all about Neptune and the truth, and Neptune is in there at 29 degrees, the truth coming out. I'm wondering if this could be some kind of catalyst to spring loose some news about Kate Middleton. And this could be any relationship. In other words, if something's going on that's behind the shadows of Pisces and Neptune's deep waters, in other words, there's some cheating or some lies and deceptions going on, Saturn might just say, related to love and money, Venus in Taurus, that the Neptune shroud is going to get pulled back. Truth will come out. It's possible. That's the kind of signature we could have here. Now, let's focus, though, on the Taurus planets. We have 4 now. They are in this order by degree: Venus, Uranus, the Sun, and Jupiter. And by the way, the Sun and Jupiter both enter Gemini next week. The Sun first, Jupiter second. So we have the rest of this week with those 4 in Taurus. And that's the 2 great benefics, Jupiter and Venus. So we really need to be taking advantage of that. And as Robert talked about in the webinar, as we talked about also in the speed readings after the webinar, and as Jenny talks about in the moon to sun forecast, this is a time of new beginnings. That was the conjunction. That's what we talked about on the webinar. Yeah, the webinar replay is still for sale if you didn't catch that. The readings are done for now, but we'll be back with more in the future. Don't worry, and we'll let you know. But right now, we have this new beginning force/thrust with the 2 great benefics in Taurus, which is Venus's home sign. That just adds some really nice power to all of this. Taurus is an earth sign. It's about grounding. This is a time to be meditatively planning new beginnings. I'm going to use the keyword today, butterfly, more in the context of a visual image than a word, but it's basically new beginnings, the new life, the springing free from the transformational cocoon. It's time to go fly. Choose your path carefully. Follow your intuitive guidance, because we do have that sextile to Saturn in Pisces. There is that deep intuition at your fingertips. We just had the moon in Cancer. Intuitive guidance was our theme over the weekend. Well, now we're going to be the butterfly. You got the inspiration. Now go fly with it. I spent about 2 hours maybe yesterday morning just journaling, looking at the charts, doing this very thing, tuning into that moon in Cancer guidance and intuition, and it was wonderful. Loved it. So now it's time to put some of that in action. Got some journal notes to go with it. All right, you guys have a great day. We'll see you back tomorrow. Going to keep resting and feeling better. No aspects tomorrow, so a little bit light for the next 3 days, really. But then we have some stuff coming back over the weekend. Have a good one. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.